What is up, my people, brothers and sisters? Give me 1 second. Let me put this little thing right here in the hit. There we go. We're not going to read every single one of those pieces, but we're going to get around to. We'll probably read something from every one of those, but we're not going to read every single little thing. Uh, BuzzKill. Paul is not your friend. Now, this isn't really for us who deal with me exclusively or deal with me and know of me. This is for us that are on the fences and don't understand or can't perceive some of the things that are being said to us. Now, we'll start with Leviticus chapter 11. We'll start there, and then we'll work our way forward. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, this is chapter 11, verse 1. Speak ye to the sons of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat, of all beasts that are upon the earth. Every beast parting the hoof, and making division of two claws, and chewing the cud. Among beasts these ye shall eat. But of these ye shall not eat, of those that chew the cud, and those that part the hoofs, and divide claws. The camel, because it chews the cud, but it does not divide the hoof. This is unclean to you. And the rabbit, because it chews the cud, but it does not divide the hoof. This is unclean to you. And the hare, because it does not chew the cud, and does not divide the hoof. This is unclean to you. And the swine, because this animal divides the hoof, and makes the claw of the hoof, and it does not chew the cud, is unclean to you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh. Ye shall not touch their carcasses. These are unclean to you. Hold on one moment. Now we'll come back to the Leviticus in a little while, but we're going to skip forward, and we're going to go to what Paul says in Timothy, chapter 4, verse 1, and we're going to go down and we're going to read these a lot. We're going to read this a lot. Now the Spirit speaketh expressively, this is verse 1, chapter 4, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. For every creature of God is good, and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving. Interesting. So let's go back and read that Leviticus hit one more time, though, before we start talking about who and what people should marry. Leviticus chapter 11, I want to say. And Paul was saying something to the effect of, for every creature of God is good, and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving. Let's see what God has to say about that. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, speak ye to the sons of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat, of all beasts that are upon the earth. Stop. Does the Most High God say the things that you will receive with thanksgiving? That's just the question. Now let's get to that other part. He said something very, 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 very interesting. Verse 3. Verse 2. We'll pick up in verse 2. No, the end of verse 1. Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry. Stop right there. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. And when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, into which thou goest to possess it, and shall remove great nations from before thee, the Kittite, and Girgashite, and Amorite, and Canaanite, and Perizzite, and Evite, and Jebusite. 7 nations, more numerous and stronger than you. And the Lord thy God shall deliver them into thine hands. Then thou shalt smite them. Thou shalt utterly destroy them. Thou shalt not make a covenant with them, neither shall ye pity them, neither shall ye contract marriages with them. Interesting. Thou shalt not give thy daughter to his son. Thou shalt not take his daughter to thy son. For he will draw away thy son from me, and he will serve other gods. And the Lord will be very angry with you, and will soon utterly destroy thee. Interesting. Now let's read something else that Paul said, just so that y'all know that I'm not tripping off of what Paul said. Paul said it and meant it. We're going to go back to the first chapter of Timothy, chapter 1, verse 3. No, read verse 1 onward, right? Let's just do it. Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ, by the commandment of God our Savior, and Lord Jesus Christ, which is our hope, unto Timothy, my own son in the faith, grace, mercy, and peace from God our Father and Jesus Christ our Lord, as I besought thee to abide still at Ephesus when I went into Macedonia, that thou mightest charge some that they teach no other doctrine, giving heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith. So do. Stop right there. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies. Interesting. Now, before we leave the New Testimony, I want to just read some of the stuff that's written about the Christ, so that way we all understand why I think that's interesting. So we're going to go to the book of Luke, chapter 3, and it would be around verse 23. And we're going to pick up and we're just going to read and read and read for a moment. And Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age, being, as was supposed, the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli, which was the son of Mattat, which was the son of Levi, which was the son of Melchi, which was the son of Janah, which was the son of Joseph, which was the son of Matthias, which was the son of Amos, which was the son of Nahum, which was the son of Esli, which is the son of Nagi, or Naji, which is the son of Maat, which is the son of Matthias, which is the son of Semei, which is the son of Joseph, which is the son of Judah, which is the son of Joanna, which is the son of Risa, which is the son of Zerubbabel, which is the son of Salatiel, which is the son of Neri, which is the son of Melchi, which is the son of Adi, which is the son of Kosam, which is the son of Elmodam, which is the son of which is the son of Jose, which was the son of Eleazar, which was the son of Jorim, which was the son of Mattat, which was the son of Levi, which was the son of Simeon, which was the son of Judah, which was the son of Joseph, which was the son of Jonan, which was the son of Eliakim, which was the son of Meliah, which was the son of Minan, which was the son of Matata, which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David, which was the son of Jesse, which was the son of Obed, which was the son of Booz, which was the son of Salmon, which was the son of Nasan, which is the son of Aminadab, which was the son of Arman, which was the son of Aram, which was the son of Isram, which was the son of Phares, which was the son of Judah, which was the son of Jacob, which was the son of Isaac, which was the son of Abraham, which was the son of Terah, which is the son of Nachor, which was the son of Sharuk, which is the son of Ragal, which is the son of Phalek, which is the son of Eber, which is the son of Selah, which is the son of Canaan, which is the son of Arphazad, which is the son of Sem, which is the son of Noe, which is the son of Lamech, which was the son of Methuselah, which was the son of Enoch, which was the son of Jared, which was the son of Malaleel, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which is the son of God. Okay, and again, just so that way we're all clear, I read all that just to read this again. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions, rather than godly edifying, which is in faith. So do. Okay, so I'm not even going to read the one from Matthew, but I'm going to read the other verse from Matthew, the Matthew 5:17. I'm not going to get carried away with the bloodline, but I just need y'all to understand that the same Paul that people will try to say is here for the Christ, the Messiah, just said that, yo, hey, we're not talking about two different parts of the book. This is the same part of the book. And the man is saying, hey, don't listen to that. That don't even matter. Want to know why? Because he don't want to tell you who his father is. It does matter where you come from. If it didn't matter where they came from, why would the Most High God tell us that aliens or Anunnaki or angels made it with women? Why would he go through all that trouble of telling us that if it doesn't matter? Just think about that for a moment. Chapter 5, verse 17 and 18. Think not, I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. So there won't be a new anything until everything is supposed to happen, until everything happens that is supposed to happen. Right. So to tell the people what I just told you to begin this with, see, I'm coming in with all ammunition. Paul is not your friend. It's a buzzkill, I know. The dude who told you this part, just so nobody thinks I'm tripping. A book of Timothy, chapter 4, verse 3. Verse 2, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry. Interesting. And commanding to abstain from meats, which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. For every creature of God is good, and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving. That's not what the book of Leviticus just told us. And the Christ, I just read to y'all what the Christ just said. Right. So I'm asking y'all today, if you had to pick one to hitch your wagon to, and you had to pick, and I'm talking about the Christ who said what I just said he said, and not the one who is imposing, who is being imposed onto the people by Paul of Tarsus, or Shaul, should I say, because that is his real name. He changed it. God didn't change his name. He called himself Paul, so people wouldn't think about, oh, this is the same guy that used to persecute us. In the days of the Messiah, this man was murdering folks, dragging people by the necks with whips, ripping people in half with horses and shit. Come on, use your imagination. This dude has Stephen stoned to death for telling the truth and said he baptized him. Let's go ahead and read something in the book of the Kings real fast. I need to set down the King James Version Bible real quick, and I'll be back to that in a moment. But let's go to the book of the Kings. If you're reading out of a King James Version, it would be First Kings. If you've got a Septuagint at home, it would be the Third Kings. And we're in the book of the Third Kings, and chapter 11, I want to say, verse 1. Everything that I'm reading from is up there in that little spot. And we're just going to read, and it's just talking about King Solomon. And I'm not even going to read verse 1. I'm just going to skip down to, verse 1. And he took strange wives as well as the daughter of Pharaoh, Moabitish, Ammonitish women, Syrians and Idumeans, Kittites and Amorites, of the nations concerning whom the Lord forbade the children of Israel, saying, Ye shall not go unto them, and they shall not come unto you, lest they turn away your hearts after their idols. Solomon clave to these in love. What's popping, bro? What's good? But this is just saying right here. So we all can understand. If anybody thinks that Paul is wiser than Solomon, they can go ahead and, please remove me from your mind and your prayers and all that. If you think that Paul is wiser than Solomon, Paul is one of the most intelligent individuals and characters written about that we can see and understand because he's very cunning, and it takes a level of understanding to be cunning, but his level of wisdom doesn't compare to Solomon's, not even a little bit. As far as wisdom, intellect is a whole other thing, but his wisdom is nowhere close. And the wisdom of Solomon failed him. So could I assume that Paul, being less wise than Solomon, that his wisdom, no matter how great it may have been, failed him as well? Once again, Paul is not your friend. He can't be. Right. This dude, Paul, is saying, listen, let's read it again. And we're going to read what happened to Solomon a little bit, but we're going to read what Paul is saying. Now, the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits. And Paul is talking about himself, and doctrines of devils. He's talking about his doctrine. Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats. So stop right there. Now, it doesn't say that Solomon was eating swine chops, but he gave the greatest part of him to something else, which is his faith and his love and his understanding of what and how things truly work. So it says here that, and he took strange women, 3 Kings chapter 11, verse 1, and he took strange women as well as the daughter of Pharaoh, Egyptian, Moabitish, Moabites, Ammonitish, Ammonites, Syrians, i.e., the children of Nachor, Idumeans, i.e., the children of of Esau, the Kittites, and the Amorites, i.e., the children of Canaan. Those are Canaanites directly. Of the nations concerning whom the Lord forbade the children of Israel, saying, Ye shall not go unto them, and they shall not come unto you, lest they turn away your hearts after their idols. Solomon clave to these in love. So my point is this, is that if Solomon gave in to someone else's foreign idols during the height of the kingdom, Paul is telling people to go marry people who don't even believe in the Most High God. How can they if they don't practice the laws? The reason why the people are in that position is because the people did not fulfill their end of the bargain. So it's a detriment at least, and it's a trap and a snare at best, and it's worse, I should say. Right on. Like literally meant to have people screwed all the way over. And when they're dead, it won't matter. How you gonna fix that? You're dead. Right. Now let's just go ahead and make our way to the book of the Judges real quick, right? Judges chapter 8. Give me one second. And this is a very important thing I'm about to read. And this debunks what Paul says. Totally debunks it, totally makes it. And I'm saying to y'all, this dude is not your friend. Judges 8, 1 through 5. sure that's Judges chapter 8. One second. I got some jackass commenting right now while I'm doing my video. I'll wait a second to give this person the business. One moment. Judges. It says Judges 8. I'm in chapter 8. And yet I am not seeing what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the birth of one Samson. There we go. Chapter 12. I had to change that. Judges 12, 13. Judges 13, 13, 1 through 5. There we go. I had somebody looking at some stuff about Gideon. They'd have been like, what's that got to do with your point? Nothing. One second. And there was a man of Sarah, of the family of the kindred of Dan, and his name was Manoah. And his wife was barren and bore not. And an angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, behold, thou art barren and hast not borne, yet thou shalt conceive a son. And now be very cautious and drink nor wine, and drink no wine, nor strong drink, and eat no unclean thing. For behold, thou art with child, and shalt bring forth a son, and there shall come no razor upon his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to save Israel from the hand of the Philistines. Now, what I find most interesting is the fact that number one, they don't actually tell us this outright. I don't think, and in the story of Samson, but his mother is actually a woman of the Philistines. Just in case people didn't know that, his mother's a Philistine. Um, and why this is so important is because the Philistine people, before the children of Israel were brought to the promised land, were at war with the invading nation, or an invading a group, if you will, characters. And some of these characters were of larger stature. So it's it's believable, presumable, that Samson may have been also of a greater stature than a regular person. His size, his build, he may have been built a certain way, different than the your run-of-the-mill children of Israel who have a more distinct bloodline and that's not splintered off as much. Having said that, did we all hear what he said for her to do? He said, and now be very cautious, drink nor wine, nor strong drink, and eat no unclean thing. Right. Think about that. Now, there's several things that on how we can take this. First off, women drank when they were pregnant back then, just like they still do to this day. But they drank when they were pregnant for sure back then. That can't even be disputed. And the people were still eating unclean. It'd be one thing to tell her just to abstain from the meats that the people eat. Obviously, she's told this is reiterated just to eat fish. But I just think that it's awkward that people don't get it. People don't understand. There's a there's a there's a true level of understanding that you have to have before you take on, any kind of task. Like, let's pull up this comment that this jackass done left, right? And let's break it down. I'm not going to respond to him while I'm doing this, but I just have to see, because this is a person commenting on a video that I made years ago, and chances are they have not bothered to see any of my recent works. Listen, listen. This jackass telling me about the people. Listen, the dude gonna try to tell me, and this is how I know that motherfuckers don't be learned at all. I have no level of understanding. Earlier today, I was doing a research project, a little part of a research project, and it just happens to come up that I have to use the Hittites, and it brings up this history of the Hittites, and it calls the Hittites Indo-European. I was like, what? Even though we all know that's not the truth. It called the Hittites Indo-European. Yet I have this jackass on my line talking about who's Asiatic, who's this. And this dude's a dumbass and doesn't realize everything you believe is based on what you see today, not actually how it was back then. Just like Paul. Paul said what he said based on what he saw for those days. But everything that leads up to what Paul says tells you not to do what Paul is doing. Right. Paul is not your friend, people. And I don't even have to really even go all the way all in. I done touched most of these up. I done said what I needed to say. Now let me do some off-brand side hustle. Uh I was gonna do a hit called The Old Shitty Cook, but I figure I can just break into some of that right now. And I'm gonna set this down. And I'll do a follow-up piece that's really about that. But really, really, really though, Paul is the old shitty cook. Paul is a nigga to serve you some undercooked, raw, not done food, okay? And then tell you, oh, you just gotta live with it. He's that kind of dude. Once again, if eating blood didn't get people sick and kill them and give them all kinds of funky diseases, why would the Most High God tell you not to eat the blood of an animal? Right. Better yet, here's something for you, because we all know that Paul said that all things are good to eat, right? Here's a deep one. Oh no, we gonna get our shovels out and we gonna throw some dirt onto the surface. Think about this. Let's say you're deathly allergic. I mean deathly allergic to seafood, right? White fish. I know a guy that can eat salmon, but he can't eat white fish. His name is Rod. He's a cool brother that I work with. He's all right. And Rod is like, he can eat all other fish. I mean, he can't eat any other fish other than like a pink red body fish. He can eat tunas, right on. He can eat non-white tunas. He can eat like I said, salmon and whatever else may come like that. Maybe certain kinds of trout or whatever. Whatever is nice. You know what I mean? Like that nice deep red color stuff. He can only eat that. Now, this dude Paul, based on what he's saying, he's like, eat everything. Everything is to be taken with Thanksgiving. Let me tell y'all a story out of a brother's life. I'm not going to say his name, but I'm going to tell you a story out of his life so that way y'all can understand how Paul's words are a detriment and they literally are ways to get killed. So the brother said that he had went out to go eat somewhere, and he had an adverse reaction before to some seafood, but he didn't even get seafood. He just got regular fish. Bro said he woke up in the hospital. Okay. Like, damn, I barely made it. Check this. Listening to Paul, If that brother had no sense, and let's say he was just listening to Paul, right? A brother like that might brave the risk of doing some shit he know he ain't got no business doing. Right. If your body reacts to something in an adverse way, but it's already something that we shouldn't be eating anyway, that's a sign. Now, do I feel bad for people who just can't eat everything? To a degree, but normally they're not us. Like most people that have uh, a high level of sensitivity and allergies to everything, are they don't normally look like niggas. And niggas are sometimes lactose and sometimes have allergies to specific things, but never every little thing. Like there's a bunch of white folks who can't eat nothing. You know, their bodies react strangely and funny to all those things, and I'm like, and yet they want to be the chosen people. And this dumbass bastard earlier gonna tell me this nigga it must be a shitty old cook like Paul. He gonna tell me that the curse of Ham means that all black people were meant to be slaves. Must have forgot that the people that he's talking about mixed with those people. Right. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Yet I'm tripping. I didn't even tell this dumbass nigga that Shem, Kama, Japheth are triplets. There's no need to. When people tell me that Ham is black, it tells me that they don't think that the other two guys are. There's nothing to talk about. They're literally mentally ill. Anybody that will tell you, I don't eat pork, but I eat seafood. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Stomach hurting, got gout, blood pressure all fucked up, got the sweats all the time. Right. Nigga, there's something wrong with that shit. And it only happens when you eat that. And and what do these niggas say? What's the typical one? I know I shouldn't do it and I'm gonna pay for it later, but I can't help it. Right. Paul got niggas in the I can't help it boat. You gonna pay for it later though. Fucking with him. He's the old shitty cook. Paul is worse than this neuros. Listen, I got an article I gotta look for, right? There was a neurosurgeon, okay? Dude, dude was out here like they say he had a degenerative disease, right? And somehow, some way, some shape or form, this guy was still able and allowed to practice medicine. And they say from 2016 to 2020, hundreds of people he might have messed up. Hundreds. We're not talking about 10 or 15 people here, y'all. Okay? We're talking about hundreds. That's old shitty cook behavior. Can't find it right this second. I'll have to look for it and pull it up later. This is the truth. Only somebody who does not care. And if y'all are wondering where the old shitty cook comes from, that's an inside joke between me and the dude that I work with. Cause one day a shitty old cook, whatever, whichever one. Right, bro. That's right. I sent you the article. Come on, hey. I said, you know what I'm talking about. This dude is the epitome of the shitty old cook. And like I said, the inside joke is there was a dude that used to work where I work at now, right? And y'all gotta understand, I'm I'm highly gifted in the palate. Like my taste is like my understanding for thought. Even if I don't eat it, I've probably had it before. I know what tastes good. And if I've never had it, if you can tell me what it tastes like, I can tell you what should go good with it. I have a really excellent palate. My palate is righteous. And so this dude not doing just I'm talking about small things, little things that I do that make the food taste better and look better. Guy walks in one day. And I say what's up to him or whatever, right? And I walk over, and the bartender, I won't say his name, but he had me cracking up with this shit. He said, "Yeah." He said, "That guy." He said, "Yeah, man, that's the old shitty cook right there, or the shitty old cook." However he said it. Since then, and I've been like, "See," and it hit me. You can't never know when y'all don't know. Like, one thing that y'all don't know about me is that when you say things to me and I listen to you, Andre knows this. Anybody that has ever been around me knows. I will take one little thing that you say. It might even been a phrase that I like, but I'll take one small thing on that and I'll hang on to that and I'll make that the focus of what I do for a while. Um, Prime example, like back to just talking about Paul for half a second. Paul says it doesn't matter who you marry, right? Well, years ago, I'm talking about like y'all. When I say years, Andre, you know what I mean. Like 6 years ago, at least, Brother Wickham was always like, "Yo, bro, the hair. You got to talk about the hair. You got to talk about the hair. You got to talk about the hair." Like, we're talking at least 15 or 20 times. This man brought this up to me before I really launched like a full out campaign about genealogy, because it led to that. Even though we had already been talking about genetics, the discussion of the hair and the ovoid particle that is found within cattle, dogs, horses, and certain other animals and so-called peoples made it to where the understanding of the genome had to be made more complete. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. If the Most High God tells you not to do something, do you need to research it? That's a yes or no question. So if it took the Most High God, let's say 2 seconds to tell you something, thou shalt not kill. Do I need to look up or try to understand the effects of what killing does? Not just to the person who's dead and gone, but to the person who killed them. How it affects their mind, how it affects their soul and their spirit, how it affects their overall physical health, their emotional health. Right. See what I'm saying? Because it makes some people deranged and it makes some people overly sensitive. Having said that, whether they're deranged or overly sensitive doesn't change much. It's just the point that I'm making, though, is that if I research something and I look it up and it took me 10, so let's say I had to read 3 hours. But in 3 hours, I come across something that takes 3 or 4 seconds to glean. And that's all the info. And that's the one piece of information I'm hanging on to. I'm like, damn everything else. This one piece plus all these other pieces from everything else I have will come together and congeal into a nice picture. That's okay. I'm not here trying to dispute anybody years of their life's research more so than it is. I'm saying that I have my own perception. Just because they spent their whole life doing something doesn't mean that they're actually the authority on it or in it. There has to be some kind of vindication and validation from the words that they speak. I give y'all a prime example. See, because I'm not the old shitty cook. I'm the new cook who people say is a chef, but I'm like, nah, I'm just a cook. Because every chef, find me a chef who isn't cooking at all, and I'll show you somebody who's not a chef. Even Gordon Ramsay has to cook when he goes to other people's. That's what you do when you're a chef. Oh, he's chefing it up. No, actually, he's cooking. Smart ass. But my point being this: if I'm the new cook and I'm trying to tell everybody, hey man, y'all palate is messed up. The shitty old cook got y'all used to half cooked beef and soggy fried chicken. My chicken is crispy and is moist and is righteous. And you can put any kind of sauce, it's seasoned properly where you don't even need sauce. If you just want some bread, you don't want no bread, however you want to do it. You want some rice, you want some cream corn. How you want this? How do you want it? Right? You want it honey dipped right from the bucket? We got you. All that. The shitty old cook, he didn't even know. He don't even know about all no fucking honey dip fried chicken. Please, please. But this is the situation we're in. I'm gonna ask you a question real quick, bro. Be real with me. If you had to read the Bible based on what you read, not what they say out their mouth, based on what you read, who would you trust to cook your food for you? Somebody from the Old Testament or somebody from the New Testament? And I'm not trying to knock the Messiah. I'm not knocking the Messiah. Follow me. Who do you trust, bro? Be real with me. And I'm talking about any. It could be an evil king from the Old Testament. Thank you. That's just based on what's written. Because there are no instructions on how to cook in the New Testament. At least God tells you to oil, flour, and salt the food. Right. Paul don't even tell you that. Paul is eating plain cooked meat that tastes like dirt. Please. I'm just saying. That dude is not anybody's. Paul is nobody's friend. Those verses from those different books vindicate everything before what Paul says that has anything to do with the law, that has anything to do with genealogy, that has anything to do with the Most High God. Nothing of what Paul says matches that. Not one single thing. Let me tell you another problem with Paul's assessment. See, the Messiah, not me, I didn't say it. The Messiah said something like, uh, what did he say? What did the Messiah say? Not in regards to marriage. No, no. Not in regards to what we eat. No. What part of that? What part of the Jesus doctrine are we trying to get to, Meech? Because our brain just had a little moment. To think not, I come to abolish. Stop right there. If somebody told you, right? Let's say you lived in a house that was condemned and it was supposed to be torn down. You get a knock on the door, and you think that it's the sheriff, it's the state, it's somebody who has the so-called set authority to remove you from the premises. This person knocks on the door, and they open up, and they are from the bank, but they're saying, "No, I'm actually not here to talk about the foreclosure. I'm actually here to speak on how we can fix this." Because our original system was meant to where this was never supposed to happen, that you were never supposed to be in this situation in the first place. Right. But then we got this slick talking, fast talking, jive turkey ass dude who says he's from the bank, can't prove he's from the bank, and he wants you to leave the home. Now, this is where you live. This is where you reside. This is your abode. You have nowhere else other than this. It might not be the nicest house. It might not be the best house. The plumbing sometimes is faulty. The electrical sometimes is faulty. Hell, it's hot in the summer and it's cold in the winter. But it's still a home, and it's still your home. And as opposed to this latter so-called banker wanting you to have your home still, he's trying to talk you out of your home and telling you to go live in this luxury high rise that we've packed all of you inside of. It doesn't make any sense. Something just like that. Don't worry, you're right. Don't worry. When you leave this house, you're like a rolling stone, my friend. Right. Wherever you lay your hat is your home. Looking ass nigga. You guys know this ain't no lies. This is the truth. This is Paul. I'm not hating on Paul. I didn't put those words there. Let's imagine that Paul is a make-believe character. Why would they invent him to do that? And then even worse, what if Paul's a real character? And you're saying that this is mistranslated. What did he say in the first place that could be translated or mistranslated so greatly that his words and his doctrine, everything he's saying is a detriment to me and to you? Think about that. I've never told y'all to stop working your jobs. Go live off the land. I've never said no crazy stuff like that. I know better than that. I've never asked anyone to give double tithe to the so-called leaders of the people because they deserve it. I've never said anything like that. I've never told you that eating something that scientifically, whatever y'all believe science is, it ain't nothing but a bunch of magic. But scientifically speaking, medically speaking, will spike your blood pressure, drive up your heart rate, causes hypertension, can give you gout, right on, can cause blood clots, all these different things I can prove by eating these different meats does this to you. Right. Yet, here we are. And you have people who have the nerve and the audacity to argue, to fix their lips, to want to say some shit like, nigga, how the fuck do you know? My father will be 60 in about 6 days. He always talks about the good old days, right? He even talks about how he had ancestors and relatives that lived to be about 100 who ate hog their whole life. And I quickly have to remind my father that those hogs were some of the last hogs to not be inundated with toxic waste that major companies were dumping into streams that these animals would eventually be affected by, because the stream from this water from this stream is what helps all these crops to grow. So these animals eat this, they become tainted. You eat the animal and then you also become tainted. But anything that you eat that comes right out the ground is most definitely tainted. Right. But nobody's talking about this. So you have people who are not understanding that there's no way you're going to get me to believe that people who eat hog are going to live longer than people who eat red meat. I'm sorry. I don't care what they call red meat. I really don't. There's no way that a person's going to get me to believe that. Nothing. There's no amount of logic that could be strewn all over the place to where I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. That makes absolute sense right there. It's not happening with me. Right. I heard somebody say something the other day. He's talking about, why there's no lion chops, there's no lion steaks. And he's like, that's because a lion would rip them to shreds before. But I'm just thinking, like, so why are people worried about people poaching lions and all these other so-called exotic apex predators if they were so able to stop people from doing that? And I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, do it with your bare hands. I don't want to hear that. Right. I'm sure they have eaten lion. It just doesn't taste as good. And the fact that lions eat other animals and they eat any and everything means that the quality of their meat cannot be nearly as high. You can say they're muscular and this, that, and the other. Bulls are muscular animals. Rams are muscular animals. Certain types of goats are very muscular. Right. When they get into their full age. So that doesn't even make sense. All those things that people want you to think are a lie. And I'm here to tell you that Paul is the shitty old cook. Paul is that nigga on that level. Paul is a shitty old cook. Paul is the nigga that literally was just touching raw dead meat, touching all the vegetables, ain't even gonna cook the vegetables, just gonna cut them down and put them on a platter. That's the kind of dude you're dealing with. That's him. Another thing about the Christ, people always want to be like, well, Jesus said that it's not what a man puts into his mouth, or it's not what goes into a man's mouth that makes him or that defiles him, but what proceeds from his. It's not. No, 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 no. What goes into you does defile you. He was talking about when a nigga has dirty ass hands and is eating their food with dirty hands. Right. He wasn't talking about if you eat something unclean. Now I thought that, right. Once again, let me break it down to the people. By the time Jeshua or the Christ is born, the Romans have already fully taken over Judea. They already have a foothold and they have power over everyone. By this time, at that time, during that time, the people are a fallen people. The kingdom is a fallen kingdom. It is not what it used to be. Could you guys imagine somebody saying, I too am an Israelite in the Old Testament, and don't nobody really know who their daddy is? I mean, no one. Do y'all realize how many adversarial individuals were brought up, and it brought up and it tells you who their bloodline is? It tells you, right? Because it wants you to know where they came from. Endless genealogies. That's fake. Everybody has an origin. Paul says pretty much God can't tell you who to love. That's what he was telling you when he said about marriages. Right on. Right. What else is he telling you? Even though God told the people, don't sleep with these individuals or don't let them sleep with you. When it says do not go into them and they shall not come into you, what do y'all think that means? Right. Right. That pretty freaking obvious. But yet we even have to have this conversation is the crazy part. And I'm not talking about with the people that already understand. I'm talking about the fact that there's people out there that potentially are on the fence. And it takes a piece of information like this. They need to hear something like this. They need to become upset, do a whole bunch of research to find out that, oh, okay, all right, I'm gonna have to live a little different. I can't say this, thus, and thus, and expect for the Most High God to just have my back. Do y'all realize morons come to my comment sections on old ass videos and say the most asinine shit? This dude's a moron. Right on? But I bet you, I'll put money on it, that this guy doesn't think that there's an issue with interracial sex. None of that. I bet you, in his mind, oh, the only thing he has a problem with is if people eat pork. Probably not with seafood, though. Probably doesn't even see it as an issue. See, those are the kind of individuals that I'm talking about that we're dealing with. They couldn't tell you anything. First thing they do, curse a ham, mark a Cain. That's why y'all black. With no proof. And you got a bunch of dumbass niggas on the internet who done said that ham means hot, burnt black. Fucking prove it. How about that? Prove that shit. Don't just say it. Prove it. Oh, you're going to prove it with the language that nobody fucking speaks? I'm sorry, friend. I'm going to have to defer to my own conjecture. My conjecture is at least based on what's already written down, what everyone can see. If they don't agree with what they're seeing, that's fine. That's one thing. It's a whole nother thing to say some shit that's not there is there. Prove that Noah's sons were all born at one time? They were all born when he was 500. Prove that Noah, sons of triplets, Noah only had one wife. Stupid ass, bitch ass niggas would be like, what if he had more than one wife? Same fuck niggas who's talking about ham means hot burnt black. Same bitch niggas will call Noah a drunk. They deserve to die. They need to be hit with a sharp ass fucking sword. I swear to God. That's on everything. They need to go. They're not good for anybody. If the people had swords when Paul of Tarsus was talking that crazy shit, somebody would have chopped Saki his monkey ass. Believe that. Like Brother Wickham said to me a couple days ago. He said, does people not understand how serious it is? These niggas said, we're not going to eat till he's dead. That's fucking major, dude. We're not eating till you're dead? Till you die? Could you imagine if somebody said that about you right now and meant it and went out their way to try to get you? Right. These niggas is so broke, they ain't even got slings. They don't got no form of weaponry. And even worse shit, I'm thinking just like today, they wouldn't even know how to use some of that stuff. You have to be trained how to be an archer. You have to be trained how to use a sword. Right. Nobody's looking at the most basic sense, though. Do to tell me once again, black people aren't the chosen people. Why? Why not? Once again, how do you know? Did God come and tell you who the chosen people were? Dude ain't never read there's no way somebody who's talking like that has ever read the Old Testament. They can't. It's impossible they have. Think about it. How could you have read the Old Testament but then not know that people whose skin turns white looking is considered to be a leper? That when the skin turns a color lighter than is considered leprosy. I didn't say if your hair got straight and your eyes turned blue. I said when the skin that you have loses its color. Right. Paul is not misunderstood. Neither is Peter. Peter did what he did. Note that the Catholic faith is built on Peter and Paul. Note that Christians have made it their mission to make it seem as if Paul and Peter are just these outstanding, upright individuals. Book of Jude. Whole book. Such a short book. People should read that book and understand that the men that were crept in unawares, chasing after lasciviousness, right? Pretty much tainting the honor of the Most High God. Who do you think those people are? Or is the Catholic Church not under fire for sex scandals right now? I didn't say after who they chased after sex with. I just said that they chased after sex. Yes, it is. All churches and all denominations not been under some form of scrutiny because of the proclivity, the sexual proclivity that has taken places in some of these congregations. Yes. How many of those places eat pork? I bet. Whole bunch of them. Right. See, it's awkward. It's amazing, but it's awkward. May the Most High God continue to bless the people that do right. May He, of course, brother. Come on, you. If there ain't a white Jesus or a Paul statue somewhere in the church or out front of the church, you know they got the stained glass windows. Okay, they got the stained glass. They're gonna get you with the stain. They're gonna do something. They're gonna get you somewhere. I'm just. I'm gonna have a shot with y'all. Then I'm gonna roll out. Man, it feels so weird to be in this position. I made a couple of little joints. I made one joint yesterday and it uploaded today or yesterday or whatever. And I made another one today and I uploaded it today. And then the one I started with people not being burdened by genius because they're not. They're not burdened by any form of genius because they've never tapped into the genius that they were blessed with. So how can you be burdened with something that you don't know that you have? Number one. Number two, is it just me or am I the only one who finds it mind-boggling and amazing that people will literally look at what they've accumulated and swear that God gave that to them? Right. Okay. He cursed you. The Most High God, listen, he cursed you, and somehow people are still saying, I'm blessed by the best. Like I said, I get it. He blessed you to wake up, but you are cursed. He cursed you for a reason, brothers and sisters. And it wasn't with your skin. The skin, the hair, the facial hair, all that just helps identify you even easier. So that's not how he cursed you, though. He cursed you to be in a land where you knew once you got to a certain age, these are these individuals have to be the devil. If every one of them is not the devil, fine, whatever. But the majority of them are the devil, and they enjoy being that. So why do you and why do I have to play the game that that's not who they are? Paul told you to drive up your blood pressure, kill yourself with bad health, and get married to somebody and wash out your bloodline. That's what he said. What? He's the old shitty cook. He's the nigga that's like, don't worry, we're putting all this stuff in one spot. But hey, bro, some of this stuff can't touch because some of it we have to separate to keep for later, for other purposes. And everybody can't. Some people are allergic to these different things. See, the old shitty cook don't care. I mean, I don't know whose devil, bro. If that's not the devil, bro, whose advice is it if it's not the devil's, bro? The devil told the people, hey, wash out your bloodline, okay? Water yourself all the way down and kill yourself chemically by eating terrible food. Terrible. Name one person you know who's in good health who eats pork every day. I didn't say has big muscles. I said in good health. I don't know any. I know a whole bunch of people who don't eat pork who are in good health and who don't have big muscles. Right on? I know a bunch of guys who eat pork who have big muscles that are in terrible health. Terrible. Their bodies are ready to give up on them at any moment, any day. Right. Show me a brother that has had a sister who's married to us. I'm talking about two people with sound minds. Has had a sister murder his children. Once again, I ain't talking about these crazy motherfuckers. I'm talking about a sound mind sister, sound mind brother. Don't happen like that. But a brother be with a white chick, anybody that's not a sister, and this nigga better look out his whole life because this bitch might snap at any moment. You just never know what she's thinking. No different than white dudes who get black chicks and any other kind of chick pregnant that they did not mean to get pregnant. It happens with females not trying to get pregnant by a black dude. She's not trying to have your baby, bruh. She was not trying to do that. All those babies that you gave her and that she said that she loved, she hates you and those motherfucking babies. She hates you and the babies. She never loved you. How the fuck could she love you? She don't even love herself. She hate herself. She would have hated herself getting with somebody of her own people. She's just fucked up like that. If there's women of our own ilk who are all the way crazy, all the way off their rocker, how is somebody else not all the way off their rocker? Coming from a country where they were forced to capitulate that the so-called white man has dominated them. Fuck out of here. Ain't nobody from none of these countries that have been dominated by white America happy. No, not one of them. They might be content, but they're not happy. You better know the difference. And a lot of these brothers and sisters are out here running around. You know, I seen a sister the other day with the white dude. She looked proud. They were all hand in hand, right? They were all arm in arm and shit. Then I start walking up the street. Then she want to break ranks with dude. Like, get the fuck off me. And I'm like, look at this sorry bitch. Like, you really think you have a chance with me, even though I see you with this punk ass white dude. And I'm walking. Y'all gotta understand, I don't have to drive a car. Don't worry. She wouldn't be the first a female who was married to somebody or with somebody else that cast those eyes at me. I just never paid that much mind about it. But it was just crazy where it was like, oh, really? This is how you feel, huh? Right. Right. But maybe he call her nigger bitch all the time. I don't know. Maybe he slap her face. I really don't care. You chose this motherfucker. That's what you get. Right. When these black dudes be in these relationships with these non-black women and they be stressed out, these niggas be crying. I done seen it. Don't worry, I ain't gonna say no names of none of my homies. I done seen it. Niggas crying and shit, talking about, man, she talking about taking my babies, bro. She talking about taking all my babies. You gave this white bitch 4 babies. And you thought that she didn't think that she was in control of you? Right. You gave her the babies. Nigga, she knows how you feel. She sees you interact with the babies all the time. So you could act like you don't love the children, but at the end of the day, she knows that it kills you not to see them. The Asian chick, the Hispanic chick, the whatever chick, whose family, this is the one that kills me. They be the immigrants that then came here, Life has not shit on them like it shit on most black people. They have kissed the ass of the system, bent over and took it up their ass, right on. And so they have more resources than a nigga who's like, I'm not bending over backwards for no white folks. My people done did enough. Right. Won't be me. Right. I know black chicks that end up in situations like that. I'm not gonna say no names of any of the black females I know that gave white boys babies. Word. Gave them children. They were strung out on dope with the white boy, but the white boy's family took the babies. Uh, that's what I'm talking about. But the old city cook must know something that I don't know. He got to. Paul, in most definite and all sorts of perspectives and perceptions, that nigga is the old shitty cook. I mean, he is the nigga that got the restaurant shut down, ruined the nigga's whole reputation. A motherfucker died knowing that his reputation was ruined because of the old shitty cook. Not me, not mine's, not my people, not our faith, not what we believe in. Our God ain't gonna abandon us because of the old shitty cook, the shitty old cook. No, nigga. And that's who Paul is. And nobody wants to say that. They don't want to say that this dude literally has put us in a position where the building is burnt down, burnt all the way up, ashes, and people are still trying to follow this nigga's directions, even though his directions got the restaurant burnt down. He's the reason the shit was condemned. He's the one who served all those people that went home and got sick and died. Brother Roger Spice, man, what's popping, man? What's good, bruh? Look, fam, I listen. I'm with it. I don't like him any more than the next man, but I do have to appreciate his words being in such stark contrast with the truth that I can see what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? I have to appreciate that what he said is in such opposition to the directions given to us, to the instructions, the ordinance, the laws, the statutes, the commandments given to us by the Most High God. I must, with two eyes wide open, be able to see all that, you know? And that's just what it is. Man, y'all don't know, man. Y'all do know. Y'all do know. Love you too, brother. My hitter, man. I love, man. Come on, man. Y'all know I love my peoples. I was thinking about you the other day, man. I lost my phone. I had to get another phone. So one of these days when you get the chance, tap in with your boy so I can get your number. My number's still the same, but you know how the phones be. Sometimes they copy the numbers over, sometimes they don't. But nah, this is where I'm at. And please, everybody, before you get done, look at those verses, copy it, and it's up here. It's at the very top. It's the very first comment. Copy it, and matter of fact, I'm gonna pin it. I'm gonna pin the message. Bam. So that's the pin message up there. Just check that stuff out before y'all get done today, because tonight, however, whenever, all those verses, no matter how you read the verses, you'll come to the same conclusion. And you could read the whole chapters of Timothy, the whole books, the whole chapters, it don't matter. But we have to be honest with what we're reading. And we have to say to ourselves, okay, like for example, the guy tried to tell me earlier that the people moved across Europe and all this other stuff. And I'm just thinking like, what Bible was this guy reading? Because the people were stuck in Egypt. Then they went from Egypt, traveled through a bunch of different lands, the wilderness, which is not Europe, okay, and ended up in the promised land. At no point did these people go through Europe. Why this dude said that, I have no idea. But I would assume the individual who's telling me that black people are not the chosen people is a white dude. Right on? Like, it's always funny that Afro people who grow facial hair are not special, yet they did everything that the earth loves and likes and enjoys and takes part of. Oh yeah, bro, tap in. Yeah, of course, bro. Hit me up tomorrow, bro. I ain't doing nothing. But but there's a level of misunderstanding I do believe that most people have about about what we're supposed to do and about what we are doing. For example, if someone told me, now this is deep, I'm going to expose why Paul is not righteous because this is deep. If Paul said, do what you have to do to live, right? But still do your best to follow the laws of Moses, I could live with that. I could. He's not telling you to be a rogue. He's just telling you to stay alive. Don't die. Dead people can't worship the Most High God. Okay, I'm with that. What I'm not with, though, is a man telling the people to pretty much do as you will. Do as thou wilt. Do whatever you feel like doing. And just ask for forgiveness. It's disrespectful and it's dishonorable in the fullest of what it means. So you're a man who's gone through the trouble of making sure that all your sons are circumcised, who's gone through the trouble to make sure that your young daughter or daughters are not out there loose about in the streets. You've gone through the trouble of monitoring how much potion your wife intakes. Right on. You've gone through all these little things, right? Just for this guy to say to you, you shouldn't drink, so you make your wife be sober, right? Doesn't matter if your children are circumcised. Pretty much doesn't matter what anybody does. So you have other children after these elder children, and you don't treat them the same way. And little by little, you see your life begin to unravel. See, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, I'm going crazy, but I'm sober. Nigga, that's why you're going crazy, because you're always sober. Your body and your mind has no escape. You give it no escape. How high can anyone be on life? Everybody that wakes up every day is high on life. They have to be. How can you be low on life? You'd have to be completely depressed at all times. The natural high that life gives everybody experiences that. Right. But also people experience the anxiety, the depression, the letdown, and the pain that everybody else has to experience. All those things that people do to numb and nullify the pain so that way they can continue and carry on is not dishonorable. I find it to be sad that a person can't go hours or days or weeks or months and not have a drink if that's what must be done. But I also know that it's sad that they would force themselves to do the same thing, knowing that God has ordained you to do such a thing. The only reason why you practice sobriety is because of Paul. Like outward sobriety is because of Paul. Now here's my thing. How many black people you think were sober who got hung by ropes? How many black people you think were sober that got bit by dogs? How many black people you think never did a drug in their life that got their ass whooped by the police? Riddle me that, Batman, Batwoman, because that right there is a very, very important question. And when you can answer it honestly and say to yourself, a whole bunch of black people back then didn't do nothing. Right. Back in the 40s and 50s, the only kind of people who was really drinking hooch like that was really roughnecks and country bumpkins. That's it. A lot of black people for a long time didn't drink, didn't even smoke cigarettes. A treat to us was an actual soda pop. I'm not telling any lies here, y'all. For however many drunken slaves that you think there were as many more who didn't do anything like that. Right. Under whose, so still treated like a nigga, though, still treated like a slave. Ain't had a lick of drink, ain't had a lick of nothing. And they still treat you like you ain't shit. So what does that really do for you? They'll still work you to death. And you've never even enjoyed natural alchemy from the planet. But we'll use an iPhone. But we'll use a Samsung. But we'll drive a car. Y'all niggas is tripping. I'm just saying. Y'all tripping. Before there was a built city again ever on the earth after the flood, the first thing Noah did was grow a vineyard. That's how monumental of an activity, and that's how important of an activity the release is. They don't want to hear that. Paul told people not to have sex. You got a bunch of dudes running around here calling themselves involuntary celibates. I really do feel for them. Because I'm like, of all these dating websites with chicks with their cookie in the air ready to give it up and you can't get none of them, shameful. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. I'm just throwing that out there because I know what it is. So I'm saying, like, yo, this dude told grown men to not have sex. What? Why do you think the papacy is so homosexual and always sex abusing children? Right, because it's some shit that this dude said. Thank you. Ain't gotta like it. It's the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. This dude's directive goes against be fruitful and multiply. He'll tell you it doesn't matter who your wife is, but then tell you, whoa, hold back, player. Hold back. Most High God is like, look, bump all that. Just make sure that this ain't no funny chick from up the way, from around the way. Make sure it's one of us. Make sure it's one of your people, bruh. Okay? We ain't doing all that outside the family stuff. Right. Paul is not your friend. He could have never been your friend. Never. Ain't no friend of mine gonna tell me to eat something that could kill me the first time I eat it. That's just what it is. Ain't no friend of mine gonna tell me to disobey the Most High God by marrying who I feel like I want to marry. Ain't no friend of mine gonna disrespect my genealogy where I come from because he don't know who his daddy is. Could y'all imagine that? A black dude who's a known bastard. Nobody knows who his daddy is. Nobody. Telling everybody else it don't matter who your father is. Could you imagine that? Right. They can't. This is why I'm glad that I cultivate the words that I cultivate to get them away and to keep them away, hopefully. One of these days, not if, when I shut down this little channel and I totally call it done on this YouTube thing, and it's coming. My day is coming. What will they do then? They won't be able to steal any ideas from me. They're gonna have to go into their vault, their archive, or whatever, and listen to a bunch of old ass shit. While every day, when I get a new revelation, a new thought, I'm gonna be able to just to the people I already deal with, I'm gonna be able to just give that to them directly and not worry about nobody else. And that's not selfish, and that's not greedy, and that's not hoarding or none of that. That's the wise thing to do. I didn't say I was gonna get rid of this channel today, tomorrow, the next day, but it's coming. The time for me to step away from all this is coming. And when I do, we'll see how they fare. That's the part about it that I laugh about. I didn't come in here talking about the Illuminati and gay sex, rap rituals, or none of that shit. I came in here talking about the Most High God off tops. That's what I still talk about off tops. And I ain't had to take nobody's lingo, jargon, slang, pigeon, or none of that to get my points across. Like I said, we'll see how they feel. I give myself a year at most, and I'm done with this. Delete the channel, delete all the content. They'll never have access to it. They'll never be able, nothing. It won't even matter. It won't matter where I stand at that point when I roll up out because it'll be funny. Because then I'll get this. Because then I'll go back to being just a spectator. That's it. I'll only spectate what these clowns say, and then we'll see how stupid they sound. Because they're not going to sound intelligent at all. Right? Did they question? Did they read the Septuagint to me? Did they tell me what a genome was? Did they say, "Hey, Demetrius, I believe that Noah's sons are triplets"? Did they say that to me? Did they say, "Hey, Demetrius, you know that concept called cloning that these people talk about? I think Eve was one of those. I'm almost positive she was, Demetrius." Did they say that shit to me? I'm just wondering. I got to do my fact check real quick because maybe I got it fucked up. But if that's not the case, and I surely indeed did introduce these things to their minds, what I owe them is nothing. They don't owe me anything either. But what I owe them, damn sure, is nothing. Ain't nobody had to talk me into doing nothing that the Most High God told the people to do that they needed to have done in order to be right with Him. Nobody. Niggas believe in man-made prophecies. Nothing I believe in is man-made. I might acknowledge something. It don't mean I believe in it. That's where I'm at. I needed to get that all the way out. What I feel like I've done more than all these other dudes. I'm not the old shitty cook. I feel like my whatever it is, the collective, everything I've taken from everybody that's come around that I've been able to gather, right on, all that I've collected from everyone else and put it forth. I feel like that's been far greater of an effort with less of a reach, with less of an audience, less everything, had far greater of an impact than any of these other dudes. And it's undeniable. The work is there. The proof is there. The things that were being said years ago are there. They're just upset because for once in their lives, they're going to have to do things all by themselves. Let me tell you something about black people that I really don't like. Lazy ass, bitch ass niggas, lazy ass bitches be trying to tell a grown ass man how to run their shit, how to do their shit. Motherfucker, you don't do no research. You don't do no kind of heavy lifting. You don't do nothing but live your life every day and want somebody else to bring the information to you. Fuck that. Right. I'ma say it. That's weak as fuck. And then the same niggas who want you to bring the information to them have the nerve to want to disagree with some shit that they've never researched, never even put the time into learning themselves. And got the nerve to be like, no, you're wrong. Because fucking Dr. Schmuckatelli told me something else. Well, how about this? How about you go fuck Dr. Schmuckatelli since that's how you feel? Because I don't care about him. Right. I'm not the old shitty cook. And it's not my fault that niggas have habits from the old shitty cook. You don't want to change your fucking gloves every time you touch something that's contaminated? That's not my fault. You don't want to temp your own food? That's not my fault. You don't want to plate this shit right? That's not my fault. Okay? You don't want to communicate with your servers, with your bartenders, with whoever? It's not my fault. Your shit ain't prepped right? It's not my fault. All those things that you have to deal with because of the shitty old cook, they're not my fucking problem. And it's not my fault. And I'm not here to entertain nobody, and I'm not here to fucking make nobody laugh. All that stuff that people do, that's on them. They say, oh, this nigga don't know what he's talking about. Okay, then. Just like I had told my cousin a few weeks ago, this nigga had really pissed me off. I had to leave. I had to leave. Dude called me days later, apologizing and all that stuff. But I had to leave. And then the last thing I told this man when I was talking, I said, man, I'll see you at the finish line. How the fuck do y'all think I feel about most of this? I will see niggas at the finish line. That's where I'm at. They don't got to treat me like I'm special, like none of that. They could treat me like straight up dirt every day that I live on this earth. They could treat me just like the one thing that's in most abundance outside of the water. Straight up. People don't know I'm asking for basic stuff. Shit that their simple, feeble ass minds can't even understand. I'm asking people to take pictures of the moon and the sun and shit, right? Word? Okay. Only a few people, trust me, a whole bunch of niggas that heard me ask for this. Way more than the 4 people that have been actively engaged. Check this out. How the fuck can I prove all by myself that the earth is not round if niggas won't help me do it? Right. Got a question. When was the last time you seen a plant grow out of what is like a round thing of dirt outwardly? When's the last time you seen that? Virtually never. Right. I'm asking basic questions here, people. When the last time you seen something like that? That's right. You haven't. What does it look like when you're trying to plant something? What do you have to do to the soil and the dirt? You have to what? Pack it down, right? Does that look round to you when you do that? That's a yes or no question. I don't want to hear no fucking conjecture. I don't want to hear no bullshit about the curvature of the earth. Fuck all that. If you haven't left this earth for your own two eyes to see, don't tell me no bullshit like that. When you plot a plot on the ground using a hoe and a rake or an oxen or an ass or a mule, is the ground not leveled? Yes or no? That's right. It is. So how anybody thinks this bitch is a circle, I really don't even fucking know. When the water sits still on the ocean, as they call it, but really it's the sea. When the water sits still on the lake or the river, does it curve or does it lay out flat? Be honest. Right. People having a hard, once again, not saying that anybody who's here doesn't believe that. I'm talking about the people that are going to come and listen and who don't know shit. And they're going to swear on God, I don't know shit. But I'm like, nigga, you really don't know anything. Right. I have to try to tell people all the time who I work with, like, how ridiculous they sound. Niggas don't even know who the Franks are. Don't even know that the Franks made the French and the Germans and a couple of the small groups. But for sure, those two. And yet, motherfuckers want to tell me about history. Don't even know who the Franks are. Can't even tell you what significance they had to the Roman Catholic Empire, to the Roman Catholic Church. Right. To the fucking Crusades. Have no idea. And want to talk to you and try to tell you about history. I asked a man yesterday, I said, who's Clovis? He said, who? I said, Clovis. I said, what does the name Clovis mean to you? He said, nothing. But the nigga trying to tell me all about history. And I'm like, about Christian history. And I'm like, this dude doesn't even understand. Clovis is the first actual individual to successfully force convert people to the faith of Christianity. The first true successful. He converted all of the Frankish pagan tribes to Christianity. Right. He created Catholicism is the first branch of Christianity. Right. Any good Christian actually knows that. Right. It goes Lutherans, then Protestants. You know, they call them Protestants, but the Protestants come after Lutherans. You could say that it goes Catholicism, then Lutherans. And it took a long time for those Lutherans to get around. See what I'm saying? Oh, what about Presbyterian? Huh? What about them? What about them, nigga? What the fuck about them? What about Baptist? What about them? Right. They weren't baptizing folks back then, yo. They were forced converting them under the threat of death. We will kill your ass if you do not say that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. Motherfuckers out there yelling Odin and Tor, all kinds of motherfucking names before they get their head chopped off. Motherfuckers like, I won't be like him. Yeah, he's my Lord and Savior. Yeah, go ahead and give me that communion wine and that little piece of bread. Yeah, all that shit. They gonna do all that. If it means not getting killed, okay? Can you dig it? If it means not getting dead, right. That's I'm just one person. The old shitty cook told y'all that niggas like me are devils. The old shitty cook told y'all that niggas like me are hypocrites. I don't have a white girlfriend, right on? That I'm fucking on the side, blowing her back out with 2 or 3 babies, right on? While I'm laughing like, ha 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 ha, telling these niggas, no, that's not how I get down. Right. So I wouldn't know what that level of hypocrisy is about. Uh, Iron rod searing my conscience. Wouldn't know what that's about either. See, I would believe that the people who were telling the people we need to marry everybody else other than our own people would be the ones with a hot rod searing their conscience, because they're the ones also saying that how special, how unique, how wonderful and creative we are, and how the fact that we've just been left out of history and people don't understand our story. Yet the same niggas is out there literally breeding themselves out and watering down their bloodline. Right. Those must be the niggas. Can't be me. Right. Because if I was dating a half breed, I would tell y'all I was dating a half breed. If I was dating a white chick or some dumb shit like that, even though we know that's not about to happen, I would tell y'all because I have that much integrity. Shit pissed me off. Oh, to abstain from meats, huh? Did he say which kind? Did he say the unclean meats? Nope. He just said meats in general. As if niggas don't want you to eat no kind of meat. Nothing. But that's not the law. Once again, if you heard that and did not hear the Old Testimony way back in the 13 or 1200s, you wouldn't know no better. You wouldn't know no different. For about 1,500 years, these motherfuckers have been practicing a faith that they don't even believe in to control other people. You know why they use Christianity? Because their pagan faiths don't work. They tried those. Right. None of those pagan gods, no, not one of them, have rules that make sense in congruency. That's the problem. Before I head up out of here, I just need everybody to know that the old shitty cook, the shitty old cook, is not just Paul of Tarsus. He's the shitty great great grandfathers, the shitty great great grandmothers that taught children fucked up ways that their children's children taught their children to do. Then they're going to hell. Where else can they go, y'all? Where else can they go? Somebody tell me. I need to know if there's another destination for them other than Hades. Paul of Tarsus literally told people to give up their bloodline, told people to give up their health. In the name of what? Makes me sick. But what can I do about it? Did y'all know that Britain, this is deep now, they're 100 miles and some change more miles closer, or excuse me, away than Japan. So they're like 4,880 something miles away from Japan. America, where I live in America, in Washington State, is roughly 4,700 and some change miles from Japan, right? Now, what I thought was interesting, very interesting, and the distance from America to the UK is roughly the same. They're all within that 4,000 or better, or right, really really close to 4,000 range. What I find extremely awkward is that the flight from the UK to Japan takes less time than the flight from the United States to Japan, even though the United States is closer. And what I found even more awkward was that even though the US is closer and the UK is not, the UK they have a plane that will take you one shot right on. To leave from America, they have to stop off in Hawaii. It's a 16-hour flight to Japan from here, a 13-hour flight from the UK. The difference between from here in the UK is an 8-hour difference. From anywhere on the East Coast in the UK is only a 5-hour difference. Now, why I'm saying all the things that I'm saying is this. They would have you, the shitty old cooks would have you to believe that the earth is a round sphere. But like I said, I've been on video calls with Brother Ben Judah while the shit literally is like, you know what I'm saying? It's like this right here in my background, right? And it's the twilight in his. So meaning the sun's about to come up, but it's not all the way there yet. Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's the light of the world is there, but the sun is not there yet. And if I were to go for like another hour, you guys would see right on what I'm talking about. Like it would, because it's about to be dark here. The next 30 minutes, it'll be completely dark outside. And um in that time, it'd be 9:25. So that would make it 5:25 over there. The sun would be all the way up. A 16-hour difference. So that would be five. They're 8 hours. So they're 8 hours ahead of the UK. So they would be 5 a.m. So it would be 1 p.m. in Japan. Okay. So my thing is this right here is that I can't see the sun anymore. The sun is no longer visible. Do y'all understand? There's no way the earth is fucking spinning. Dude, it can't be. I'm gonna use some Andre Wickham sense plus some of my own sense. Andre Wickham says that how could the earth be spinning that fast and a little ass gnat get up and just defy that? Okay. That should pretty much cement that for everybody's mind. How I'm looking at it is like this though. How can Japan be so many thousands of miles away from us, right? And the location of Japan to Washington So I need y'all to get what I'm trying to say here. I got a boy who lives in Hawaii, right on, and they're only so many hours apart from the US. You did? Word? So how the fuck can my dude in the UK see the sun, but somebody in Hawaii cannot? Is anybody hearing me? 1 second. Hour difference. Damn. So listen, right now they're saying it's 5:57 p.m. in Hawaii, right? You know why that's crazy? Because Hawaii is in the fucking Pacific, right? So you're telling me a land that's supposed to be closer to Japan does not have a time zone that's closer to Japan's. Are y'all hearing me? No, people, are you hearing me? Ain't nobody following that. Let me break that back down. Hawaii is a little ass island in the Pacific, they say. Okay, that's fine. That being said, when the sun leaves Washington, okay, they should have not more sunlight, but less sunlight than we do. And their sunlight should correspond closer to Japan's. But it doesn't. Right. And they're in the middle. I need y'all to understand what I'm saying. If we're 3 hours ahead of Japan, that means that they're either 19 hours behind. I mean, if we're 3 hours ahead of Hawaii, Hawaii is either 19 hours behind Japan or 13 hours behind Japan. Either one, it doesn't really fucking matter. Want to know why? Because how could two places with the sunlight being so close, if the earth is a damn circle and Japan is right here and Hawaii is off over here, how the fuck could the time be that different? Can anybody explain that shit to me? And I'll wait. I'm gonna sit here for a whole 30 seconds. I'm gonna pour myself a shot of Pendleton and I'm gonna wait for a response. No response, huh? Salud. Ah, ain't nothing like just thinking about some stuff, huh? I'm not talking shit. I'm stating facts. Now, I went through all this trouble yesterday, and I didn't even get to put that information into my lesson in the luminaries because it was just too much. Somebody tell me. We're out of here in the next couple minutes anyway. It's getting darker and darker by the moment. But we're out of here real soon anyway. Somebody tell me, please. Okay? Somebody. Anybody. I feel like my nigga Littlefoot. I mean not Littlefoot, Simba, when his daddy got killed. Somebody, anybody, help looking ass. Okay? Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now. Anybody. That's right. No one can make sense of that. And if y'all think I'm tripping, get on Google. I can't share the screen on this piece of shit. On this Apple. I gotta actually do what I know that I need to do and quit not doing it, which is to reboot the whole thing and to re-upload re-upload Windows onto it or whatever operating system I want to use. So I can share the screen and show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. But I've shared screens and shown everybody what I'm talking about before. I'm not lying about this. Pull up Google. Pull up Google the Earth. Okay? And spin the whole shit around and look where Hawaii is at, look where Japan's at. Okay? And then make sense of the time zone thing. If it's a fucking circle, if the earth is a circle, how the fuck do you have directions? Number one, somebody make that shit make sense. I've been saying it for years, and ain't nobody has taken that fucking part up. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Right. We're at a very peculiar junction, people, where the more we come into the truth, the more people will deny the most basic things. I'm ready for that. Are you ready for that though? Are you ready for people that you thought you loved to deny you? Because that's what it's coming to. It's not gonna get any easier than this, y'all. They won't even honestly speak on the situation. So how can you expect them to be anything other than dishonest? Anybody disagrees with what I'm saying, wants to rebuttal it, I'm gonna put my email in here again. All my people who know me already have my email, so you ain't got nothing to worry about. 7 gmail.com. Damn. So if anybody's like Meech, I can prove the earth is actually round, bro. I'm ready. But if you're like me and you're wondering how Demetrius could see the sun go down here, raise up in so-called Judah, and then I have to wonder, what does the sun look like in all these other places? Right. So you're telling me, so you once again, if the earth is a circle, Hawaii should only be a few hours behind Japan and multiple hours ahead of us. It's a 16-hour flight to Japan, y'all. How could we be ahead of time on Hawaii? It's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but I don't have a choice but to accept that people may not understand. The shit is frustrating. It's slightly demoralizing. It's not fun. That much is true. It is not fun. I'll leave on this note. You've got one choice and one choice only. That you've got several options. You can live the life that Paul said, which is just be a good person. You can live the life that you want, which is do anything that you want to do. Or you can live the life that Moses said, which is being righteous in the eyes of the Most High God. We must keep in mind that the Messiah said something to the effect of, The wicked do right by the wicked, and the righteous do right by the righteous. Meaning that you could never know who anyone is unless you understand where they're coming from. So wicked people are going to gift wicked people with gifts, and righteous people are going to gift righteous people with gifts. We're not to intermingle with them. Let the dead bury the dead, brothers and sisters. I salute you. I hope you realize that Paul is not your friend. I really do. This is a buzzkill for people who want to really believe in and on something of a doctrine that doesn't actually promote the Most High God. Neither does it promote discipline. It promotes a sense of self-righteousness, and self-righteousness is not righteousness. I salute you again, and I salute you one more time. May tomorrow be better than today, and may your next week be better than your last. I will see y'all, and we will get to it again. Peace.